Alright guys, we are back. We got 9 characters left in the top tier. You guys know the drill. Sonic. This character, Sonic, is insane. Honestly, he might even be top 5 in the future, as weird as that sounds. His results are insane. Top 10 results. Let me list the amount of good Sonic players getting results at big events. Ken, Wrath, Sonics. 3 people getting top 8s at nationals or getting top player wins. You also have players who are not quite at that level but also doing well. I think Sonito's a good example. I know there's so many more, but I know this is one of those characters that just straight at top level represented well. Just a very common character. Part of it is because a lot of the Sonic players from Smash 40, he was a strip ridiculously good top tier, didn't stop playing him. But there's a good reason they didn't stop playing him. And this is one of his matchups you actually have to know. And a lot of characters just can't beat this. I think Sonic change-up just invalidates a lot of characters, especially if he gets lead. Sonic with the lead, forget about it. Probably 50% of the cast members would put the controller down. You can get the lead off just running around, making one good read, and that's it. You have a % lead that can turn to a stock lead. And you can be aggressive. You don't have to time people out Sonic. You can be aggressive. The fact that he's so fast lets him do both, and it's hard to kind of tell what he's doing. And he's a very simple character. His frame data and stuff isn't the most impressive. Sometimes he struggles to kill. He has a lot of random weaknesses, but he can avoid a lot of those weaknesses by just fighting on his terms. If he doesn't want to play you in neutral, he just doesn't have to. Doesn't want to ledge trap you because your ledge game's good? Alright, he doesn't have to. The only thing he has to kind of deal with is when he's getting juggled and put the ledge. He does struggle a little bit there, but he's also kind of heavy. I want to say he's about midweight, which isn't heavy, but it's not light either. A lot of characters here are lighter, because that's generally how the devs balance this game. You have a character that's so represented and such a good matchup spread. I can't even name any matchup he hard loses to. He probably loses the Aegis in class. I'm not even sure about that. I can't name any matchups he definitively loses to. Alright, Pac-Man. Pac-Man's a weird character. It's like Game Watch, not a common character at all. It's one player at the top putting in results and then about it. And it's kind of funny, honestly, because I fought quite a few Pac-Mans, right? And it's T's obviously the best, and then Sinji's very good. I feel after that, which the gap between T and Sinji is sadly already kind of big, there's a huge gap in Pac-Man players' skill. I've fought other Pac-Man players, and I'm just you guys don't do anything T does. A lot of Pac-Man players don't know the character's setups, traps, combos, whatever. And I feel generally, a lot of the Pac-Man players have to catch up to what T's meta is. And that's why the character's results aren't nearly as good as they could and should be. And this character, I didn't think this character was that great for a long time, and I've realized I'm just wrong. He's a zoner that can just mess you up close. And he has so many tricks and stuff. Bell in hand is one of the most busted things I've ever dealt with, ever. Make one mistake, you just die at 80. But if you don't make a mistake, he just pressures you for free, and it's should be a much more common character. And I don't know why the Pac-Man players haven't caught up to T. He's laid out their blueprint for them. It is a little bit of a tricky character, definitely a technical character, but a character that should be at the top, even though I don't think he invalidates many characters. I also just don't see many matchups he loses. Maybe some swords and some zoners. I feel for the most part his matchup spread is just a lot of slightly winnings across the board. Palutena. This character is interesting. She always goes up and down in my opinion on her. Some days I'm she's not even top 10, she's whatever. Some days I'm oh, she's busted, she's top 5. And I've kind of normal leveled out to around here, 7, top 10, but lower end of it. Results wise, she's just number 3, period. And it makes sense. You have Louis Money and Chag top 8ing nationals with her. That's already really good, right? And then you just have so many Palus, right? Every region has Palutena. Anyone can pick up Palu is a big thing. Legit, you can play Palu for 2 weeks and be decent with her, which is so strong already for a character, especially when they have a lot of things 0 to 50 combos, easy to use kill moves, grab or kill throw I should say, projectile game, counter, reflector, you name it. This character is kind of everything in her kit. Outside of the whole shield stuff, nothing feels super polarizing, but at the same time it's also kind of Zero Suit where it's just sort to hit her, but she then has these really strong buttons while being hard to hit. Teleport's a busted tool for this advantage state, and yeah, she doesn't have the highest skill ceiling in my opinion, which is kind of holding her back at the top level, where I think we start fighting the top 10, top 20 PGR players who really know how to fight Palutena and exploit the fact that while she's really good, she is a bit linear, which means it's kind of easy to parry her and know what she's going for in a lot of situations. When you get to that level, I think she slightly falls off, But I think until you're at that level where you don't really make big mistakes and you know how to exploit like a linear character with a lot of like small windows to get punished, I think until you get to that point, she's just an absurd character with just lots of winning matchups. And like it feels like sometimes you just lose off too few interactions when fighting her. Alright, Wolf. Honestly, this character is like kind of similar to Palutena, right? Like completely different archetype, but similar strengths. Easy, strong, well-rounded. You know, his recovery is supposed to be a big weakness of his, but honestly, I find between his airspeed, his up B, and his side B, especially because you can angle all those, like for recovery, it's hard to actually edge guard him. And even though he's a lightweight character who's a fast floor, it should be easy to combo. Frame to air dodge gets him out of a lot of nonsense. And like if you mess up at all versus him and he reverses you with like a falling aerial or a grab or something, he can get so much damage. Like he hits like a truck. He has reliable kill confirms at like 80 with like fair bear, and he has like reliable like combos like nair, fair into like up air. Laser's absurd. He does struggle a little bit with sorties. Who doesn't, to be fair? But it just kind of feels like fighting Wolf's like Palutena, where it feels like you make a mistake and you might just lose. And I feel like it's the same issue where at top level, he might fall off a bit when people know how to exploit the fact that he is a little bit of a linear character. He's not as linear as Palutena. He has a lot more like 50-50s and mix-ups. But at the same time, that's because like he has to kind of take a lot more guesses. But his reward is so good. And he's so good at scaring people with his airspeed into like making bad decisions. So good at conditioning and killing people with like low committal moves. Like up smash isn't even that like easy to punish like with anything crazy. Like down smash and forward smash and back air are all like hard to punish with anything significant. Like he's really safe by the top 4 results. Kind of surprised he's not even more common, but he's one of those characters people just pick up and just play and do well with. Alright, Roy. Roy is results-wise second best character in the game. It makes sense, right? You look at Roy as a character. A lot of these characters right now are very easy, and Roy's another very easy character. He's very simple too. That should be the same thing. The difference between simple and easy is like just not like much I've learned to play with them, but you might still have a lot of options. Like Palutena and Wolf have quite a few things they can do. It's just most of their tools are pretty easy to use. But Roy is like, he doesn't even have like many tools. He just kind of has medium-sized sword with ridiculous frame data in every direction. Like if he wants to swing in a direction, he has a good button to swing with, something fast. So then that can kill or does a lot of damage. He's in the combos, safe, arcs, like just hitboxes around him, and he's a fast character. So he's kind of just run around with good movement, swing at the right places, and you'll be doing very good with him. And then he's just so powerful in a game where I feel like killing the sub 100 is like pretty hard. Roy kills you at 60. Like legit, if he down tilts you, you're put into 50-50, where if he guesses right, you're just dead. Hits you with a jab of the ledge, he can kill you. Side B read, which by the way, side B is transcendent, so you can't like clank with it, and has a big hitbox for some reason. So many places you might just die, and he has no problem doing big combos. Cole obviously destroying people with this character. You have Goblin also doing very well with this character. Mugen, also known as Hyper Kirby, like has done well with this character. He's not as active as them, but he generally does well, I think, at Nationals, getting out pools at minimum. He's not common in Japan for some reason. I think in Europe there's a couple Roy's doing well. I guess Roy just doesn't feel like the playstyle most Japanese players have. But yeah, he's not common. Not too surprising because he doesn't have many interesting mechanics, and I feel like people love playing characters with unique mechanics or a lot of tools in Ultimate because we have so many characters like that. But he gets the job done in such a simple, effective fashion. And I mentioned this before, but when you have a character that's pretty easy to play, it helps a lot in tournament settings especially, where it's like stress gets to people, makes them drop the harder things. And Roy doesn't have to worry about that really, just don't mess up your jab backers. Alright, Rob. Results-wise, just the best character in the game apparently. Now, results aren't everything, of course, otherwise I'll just copy-paste this and make this my tier list. But that speaks for a lot. And this character, the way I describe this character is that you will be beating a Rob player, right? Like, you'll be fighting them, outplaying them, whatever, and they get one gyro step at the ledge, and you just die. Or, like, you can't kill them because it's so heavy, and they hit with, like, one back air, and you just die. Or, like, a down throw up to up air, yeah. Like, there's so many things to do to just kill you, and this character is so much leniency in mistakes. Because this character is neutral, it's good, but it's not, like, the best. He's a big character. I know he's kind of big meme. It's kind of true. He's pretty big. He's combo food, and, like, his buttons, like, have iffy ranges sometimes. Like, his fair and down tilt are great, but they don't have the most range. Laser is a nice projectile, but you can't, like, camp people out with it. Gyro is a great item, but you have to, like, use it, like, and the opponent can use it as well, so you have to kind of, like, control it. Like, his neutral is really good, but it doesn't feel broken to me. What's broken is how he just does so much damage, has insane combos, has very good kill power, is so hard to kill because of his weight and like how good his up B is, and how much he can use all that to exploit rage and just kill you extremely early. And it's very scary to fight this. And there's so many good Rob players out there. Between Zomba, Zachary, and Anathema, you have 3 people like taking Rob in the top 8 or close to it at Nationals. And this character is absurdly common. I think every region has a Rob player. If you don't have a Rob player in your region, that is shocking. And you should probably play Rob because you will farm people with the character. Because he's so easy to play due to how forgiving he is. And they may have a couple like harder matchups. He definitely like does get exploited for being a big body. But I feel like when he has like a directly losing matchup, like let's say like Rosalina, which directly might beat him, or maybe like PT, it's like, yeah, it's a losing matchup until it just robs you of the game.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Alright, moving on. Pikachu. Honestly, I don't even know if I want to put Pikachu here, but I find that too many characters just hard lose to Pikachu. Like, he's a character results-wise, doesn't even look that impressive, you know? It's like Esam doing very well, like carrying the character. And then like there's like no other Pikachu players. Kind of reminds me of the T Pac-Man thing where it's like the other Pac-Man players just need to catch up to Esam. But this character is also very technical. It's much harder to play this character, especially in like bracket situations when you're getting nervous, because he's so technical and precise. But he's so strong and he just destroys so many characters. Like, I think he probably is the worst matchup for more characters than any one other character in the game. I know like Joker, Wolf, Palutena, I think Zero Suit are all characters I consider him like -2, like borderline unwinnable, worst matchup for them, whatever. It makes sense too. Small, ridiculous show game, really good projectile, crazy good advantage and disadvantage. His only major weakness is that like lack of range, and he doesn't trade well due to multi-hit moves. And even when he like is hitting you, it doesn't hit that hard using at big combos. So I feel like good SDI is very important for him. But man, a lot of characters kind of just can't win neutral versus a competent Pikachu enough to like win games. If there was more representation, I'd have no problem, none at all, putting this character in the top, like top tier. But the lack of representation, although the fact that Esam sometimes struggles, does make me question putting him here. This is more like theoretical matchup chart based thing as opposed to like, you know, looking at results. But it just feels right. Like you fight Pikachu and it just feels like, man, finally the top 2. So Joker. Don't really gotta say much about this character, right? It is so weird that Leo did drop Joker. Zachary is whooping ass with Joker though. And Naito Sharp before he took a break was like very close to top 8 nationals with Joker. I know there's actually a lot of like local and state PRs with a Joker in like top 5, not top 1. I think in fact upstate New York somewhere, and I think Philadelphia both have Joker as number 1 in their PR. Fast character, projectiles, arson. He has all the bells and whistles. He doesn't have a major weakness. His major weakness is like he's a bit reliant on arson, so you have to like kind of play around that. It's not even like a weakness really. Out of show game is a little bit iffy, which is fine because he's fast with projectiles, like he doesn't have to re-shield stuff much. And we've seen, you know, Leo mains the character, what this character does. Hasn't been nerfed significantly at all, and it just honestly might be better than Aegis. But let's talk about Aegis now, because Aegis, I think Aegis is a character that is better, not because peak Aegis is better than Joker. I think peak Aegis is worse than peak Joker. However, the thing about Aegis, top 5 results by the way, is how easy this character is to play. Joker is a technical character. If you mess up with Arsene, you might like not have it when you need it and have trouble closing out a stock or a game. With Aegis, like there's no Arsene meter you have to worry about. There's no like worrying about like using your guns to like camp people out and condition people in technical combos. Like this character probably has some very technical combos into like up Bs and like neutral Bs people eventually find out to like optimize damage. But for the most part, they just said, hey, Sheik's neutral on a sword. Like I hate how that was like the day 1 impression of the character, and we were all thinking this character is gonna, you know, get more and more intricate. And honestly, no. A lot of the stuff we found at day 1 with this character is still the standard stuff, I feel like. Basic combos, the same neutral, we know which moves were good from day 1, we still use the same exact moves. And it just kind of feels like this character is so strong, but so straightforwardly strong. And like every button is good. Everything just leads to like up air combos and up B eventually if you do it right. And then you have Pyro. I didn't talk about Pyro yet. Pyro's just there to make sure like, hey, someone's in disadvantage state, cool. Throw up big hitboxes and kill them. And like the way this character throws up big hitboxes is dumb because something like a falling forward air is really obnoxious. Pyro hits you with falling forward air, what do you do? Jump, rising forward air hits you. Hold shield, another falling forward air or forward tilt, all like safe. Maybe there's down air, maybe just up air catch your landing and you air dodge and they up tilt you or grab you or dash attack you. Maybe they let you with jab. In neutral, Pyro honestly has some use too. But when you're using Pyro right, it kind of just feels like you're playing a lot of guesses, which you will die if you guess wrong. But because of the range on this character's attacks, you can't punish Pyro for guessing when you're guessing right in disadvantage. You just get a chance to reset neutral for like guessing right a couple times. So when you have neutral monster combined with really dumb, very simple like 50-50 advantage state, you have such a strong character, right? The only weakness of this character is recovery, and even then, this character has so many recovery mix-ups. You have generic things like air dodge to ledge versus up B to ledge, drift, double jumps, whatever. The character's fall speed and air speed, depending which character, like does hurt their recovery a bit, of course. But like a lot of times, edge guarding Mythra and Pyro is very different. And because of how quick their switches, they can bait you. They can look like they're gonna recover with one character, and then switch and recover the other one. And if you position yourself to edge guard the first character, and a lot of times edge guard this character is going off and hitting their recovery, so if you mess up an edge guard versus character and they get to ledge for that, you're probably the ledge now. So your advantage state turns into your disadvantage. But you have to do that. You have to go off and like edge guard them to end their stock because their neutral is just too good. And also, Foresight's one of the most busted things ever. It's a frame 2, turn your combo into my combo thing. Admittedly, Mythra is very easy to grab, and like she gets caught by a lot of grab combos because Foresight exists, and means she can't like spot dodge grabs until like frame 5, I think, or something like that. But like, man, like, so the worst thing is just how easy this character is to play. Like, the amount of people I've seen just pick up Aegis, and their Aegis is better than their previous main is insane. You know, Spargo's destroying people with this character. Porta Bonham is playing this character now. Leo's playing this character. Cosmos is playing this character. Shuton's playing this character. Your local 0-2er is now a 2-2er going this character, right? Your favorite top player is considering playing this character. Like, everyone wants to just play this character. Very broken character. Very broken. I will say that I think when people learn how to exploit the fact that Mythra is very easy to like grab and their recovery, despite, you know, having the mix-ups, I think when people get better at edge guarding the character, myself included, we'll be able to kind of like cover all the different mix-ups at once. So that should hurt them over time, maybe? I'm not entirely sure if it's going to work out that way. Yeah, I think in the current state, this character is going to be the best overall. I don't actually know who beats this character. Yeah, that's my tier list, y'all. I can't wait to see all the comments where people disagree with everything I'm saying. But yeah, y'all. Peace out until next time.